Year 1904, the world was buzzing with important events that would change many lives. January, new signals and new beginnings. At the start of the year, on January 7th, sailors at sea got a new way to call for help. They used a signal called Seek ED to tell others they were in trouble. Soon, this would be replaced by the more famous SOS, which everyone would recognize. In Chicago, on January 8th, the doors of the Blackstone Library opened for the first time. This was the beginning of the Chicago Public Library system, giving people a special place to read books and learn new things. Far away in Africa, on January 12th, a war called the Hero Wars began in German Southwest Africa. This was a struggle between German colonizers and the local Hero people, fighting for their land. Meanwhile, in Russia, something special happened in the world of theater. On January 17th, a famous writer named Anton Chekhov had his last play, The Cherry Orchard, performed in Moscow. This play became a very important part of Russian literature. But January also had its sad moments. On January 23rd, a big fire swept through the town of Lisund in Norway, destroying many homes and leaving thousands of people without shelter. February, fire and war. February brought more dramatic events. On February 7th, the Great Baltimore Fire broke out in Maryland, burning down over 1,500 buildings and leaving the city in ruins. Just a day later, on February 8th, a surprise attack by Japan on Port Arthur in Manchuria started a major war between Russia and Japan, known as the Russo-Japanese War. This was a big conflict that would change the balance of power in the East. Despite the chaos of war, culture continued to flourish. On February 17th, an opera called Madama Butterfly by Giacomo Puccini was performed for the first time in Milan, Italy. The opera told a beautiful yet sad story of love and identity. Later in the month, on February 23rd, the United States gained control of the Panama Canal Zone for $10 million. This was the start of an ambitious project to build the Panama Canal, a waterway that would change global trade and transportation forever. March, exploration and protests. As March began, the world was still feeling the effects of war. On March 4th, Russian soldiers retreated from Korea and moved towards Manchuria, escalating the conflict with Japan. Amidst the turmoil, explorers were making new discoveries. On March 6th, the Scottish National Antarctic Expedition, led by William Spears Bruce, found a new land called Coates Land in Antarctica. On March 26th, in Hyde Park, London, thousands of people gathered to protest against the unfair treatment of Chinese laborers who were brought to work in South African gold mines. The protesters wanted better treatment and fair conditions for these workers. In April, the world faced both challenges and progress. On April 4th, Bulgaria was hit by the powerful Kresna earthquakes, which caused a lot of destruction and took the lives of many people. Communities were left in ruins, showing the devastating power of nature. Despite this tragedy, there were signs of hope and cooperation. On April 8th, the United Kingdom and France signed the Entente Cordiale, a special agreement that marked the beginning of a new friendship and partnership between these two countries. This was an important step towards peace and diplomacy in Europe. In New York City, something exciting happened on the same day, April 8th. Longacre Square was officially renamed Times Square. This area would soon become one of the most famous and lively places in the city, known for its bright lights and bustling energy. Spring trials and triumphs. As spring continued, more events shaped the world. On April 19th, a massive fire broke out in Toronto, Canada. Known as the Great Fire of Toronto, it burned much of the downtown area. Despite the destruction, no lives were lost, showing the strength and resilience of the people who lived there. In Australia, a big change happened in politics. On April 27th, the Australian Labor Party won control of the national government under the leadership of Chris Watson. This was a historic moment for Australia and showed the growing power of the labour movement. Meanwhile, in the United States, a grand event began on April 30th. The Louisiana Purchase Exposition, also known as the World's Fair, opened in St. Louis, Missouri. This fair showcased amazing innovations, culture, and progress, attracting visitors from all over the world. May, new beginnings and historic achievements. As May arrived, even more significant events unfolded. On May 4th, United States Army engineers began the enormous task of building the Panama Canal. This canal would connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, making global trade and travel much easier. Across the Atlantic, in Manchester, England, two important figures in automotive engineering met on May 4th. Charles Rolls and Henry Royce agreed to create the Rolls-Royce motor car brand, which would become known for luxury and quality. In sports, an incredible achievement happened on May 5th. Cy Young, a pitcher for the Boston Americans, threw the first perfect game in modern baseball history. This meant he didn't allow any opposing player to reach base, showing amazing skill and precision. The month continued with significant geopolitical developments. On May 15th, during the Russo-Japanese War, the Russian minelayer Amur sank to Japanese battleships Hatsus and Yashima. This tragic event highlighted the rising tensions and the serious nature of the conflict between Russia and Japan. On May 21st, an important organization for soccer, the International Federation of Association Football FIFA, was established. This organization would go on to govern and promote soccer around the world, bringing people together through the sport. June, tragedies and cultural milestones. As June began, the world saw both sad events and important achievements. On June 3rd, the International Alliance of Women was founded. This group worked hard to promote gender equality and empower women around the world. Sadly, on June 15th, a terrible fire broke out on the steamboat General Slocum in New York City's East River. This disaster took the lives of over 1,000 passengers, making it one of the worst maritime tragedies in American history. In Europe, on June 16th, Finnish nationalist Eugene Schauman assassinated Nikolai Bobrikov, the Russian Governor-General of Finland, in Helsinki. This showed the unrest and desire for independence within the Russian Empire. In the world of literature, June had a special moment. On June 16th, James Joyce, a famous author, took his first walk with his future wife, Nora Barnacle, in Dublin, Ireland. This day would later be celebrated as Bloomsday, an important event in his novel Ulysses. June also saw acts of bravery and resilience. On June 28th, the Danish ocean liner SS Norge sank near Rockall, causing the deaths of around 627 passengers, many of whom were emigrants seeking new opportunities. On the same day, a tornado swept through Moscow, Russia, causing significant damage and reminding people of the unpredictable power of nature. July, athletic feats and labor issues. As summer continued into July, the world experienced both exciting sports events and controversial labor practices. On July 1st, the third modern Olympic Games began in St. Louis, Missouri, showcasing the best athletes from around the world. However, July also brought attention to labor issues. On July 22nd, thousands of Chinese laborers arrived in South Africa to work in the Transvaal colony gold mines. This was organized by the Chinese Engineering and Mining Corporation (CEMC) and led by Herbert Hoover. This event highlighted the complex and often exploitative nature of labor migration in the early 20th century. On July 23rd, a significant innovation in agriculture was made. David Roberts of Richard Hornsby and Sons patented the continuous track tractor in England, which revolutionized farming by making it more efficient and mechanized. August, conflict and artistic expression. August saw both conflict and cultural achievements. On August 3rd, the British expedition to Tibet, led by Colonel Francis Young Husband, took control of Lhasa, marking a significant moment in British imperial expansion. However, August also witnessed terrible events. On August 11th, the Battle of Waterberg led to the defeat of the Hero people by Lothar von Trothe in German Southwest Africa. This event started the genocidal atrocities known as the Hiro and Namakwa genocide, where many Hiro people were driven into the Amahik Desert. On August 14th, Ismael Montes became the president of Bolivia, starting a new period of political leadership in the country. The ongoing Russo-Japanese War continued to be fierce. On August 17th, a failed Japanese infantry charge showed the strength of the defenses at Port Arthur. In the world of art, August saw the birth of a new movement. Henri Matisse painted Lux, Comet. In Saint-Tropez, France, this painting laid the foundation for Fauvism, known for its vibrant and expressive style. September, innovation and discovery. September brought innovation and new discoveries. On September 1st, Stuyvesant High School opened in New York City. This school focused on manual trades for boys, offering a new model of education. In London, also on September 1st, Griffin Park Football Ground opened, providing a new venue for sports and community events. On September 2nd, John Voss completed a remarkable journey. He sailed the rigged dugout canoe Tillicum into the River Thames in England, finishing a 3-year voyage from Victoria, British Columbia. In international relations, September 7th marked an important event. The Dalai Lama signed the Anglo-Tibetan Treaty with Colonel Francis Young Husband, strengthening British influence in Tibet. A pioneering study was published on September 17th in the United States, exploring the link between alcohol consumption and heart disease, offering new insights into health and lifestyle. As the month ended, conservation efforts made headlines. On September 26th, New Zealand's famous dolphin, Pelorus Jack, was granted individual protection under the Sea Fisheries Act, highlighting the importance of protecting endangered species and biodiversity. October, new beginnings and milestones. In October, the world saw new beginnings and important achievements. On October 1st, the Daytona Educational and Industrial Training School for Negro Girls was established in Florida. This school would become a place where many African American girls could learn and grow into future leaders. On the same day, October 1st, the Phi Delta Epsilon Medical Fraternity was founded at Cornell University Medical College. This group helped medical students work together and support each other in their education and future careers. October 4th marked the founding of a new sports team in Europe. A Swedish football club, IFK Teberg, was established. This added excitement to the world of sports and brought people together through soccer. In business, October 5th was an important day. Alpha Kappa Psi, a professional business fraternity, was started at New York University. This group helped students interested in business to connect and learn from each other. A historic moment for LGBTQ+ rights happened on October 9th. German journalist Anna gave a groundbreaking speech in Berlin, making the first known public statement about the challenges lesbians faced in society. London saw a big change on October 11th with the opening of Loftus Road Football Stadium. This new stadium became a place for sports and community events, bringing people together in the city. Across the ocean, New York City celebrated a huge transportation milestone on October 27th. The first underground line of the New York City subway system opened, making it easier for people to travel across the city. October ended with a significant diplomatic event. On October 28th, Panama and Uruguay established diplomatic relations, opening new paths for cooperation between the two countries. In London, the first members of the Bloomsbury Group settled in the Bloomsbury district in October. This group of writers, artists, and thinkers would greatly influence culture and ideas in the early 20th century. November, elections and discoveries. November started with a major event in the United States. On November 8th, President Theodore Roosevelt won the 1904 presidential election, securing a second term in office and shaping American politics for the future. On November 16th, a new settlement called Grytviken was established in the South Atlantic on South Georgia. It served as a whaling station for Norwegian sea captain Carl Anton Larsen's company, marking an important development in the whaling industry. The same day, English engineer John Ambrose Fleming made a big breakthrough in science and technology. He patented the first thermionic vacuum tube, known as the Fleming valve, which would help advance electronics and telecommunications. November 24th saw a major innovation in transportation. The Holt Manufacturing Company successfully demonstrated the continuous track tractor, which would revolutionize construction vehicles and change land warfare. December, declarations and cultural moments. December brought both political statements and cultural milestones. On December 2nd, the St. Petersburg Soviet called for a run on the banks, reflecting growing unrest in Russia. On December 3rd, astronomer Charles Dillon Perini discovered Jupiter's largest irregular satellite, later named Himalaya, at California's Lick Observatory. This expanded our understanding of the universe. In politics, December 4th saw the founding of the Young Conservatives Conservative Ungdom in Denmark by Karl F. Hermann von Rosen, showing changes in political ideas in Europe. On December 6th, President Theodore Roosevelt made an important announcement. He introduced the Roosevelt Corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, stating that America had the right to intervene in the Western Hemisphere to maintain stability and protect its interests. A new fraternity, Pi Kappa Phi, was founded on December 10th at the College of Charleston in South Carolina. This group aimed to promote brotherhood and service among students. The year ended with cultural celebrations. On December 27th, the stage play Peter Pan, or The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up, premiered in London, enchanting audiences with its magical story. Also on December 27th, the Abbey Theatre opened in Dublin, Ireland. This theatre became a centre for Irish culture and artistic expression. Finally, on December 30th, the East Boston Tunnel opened for streetcars, connecting neighborhoods and making transportation easier in Boston. As the year ended on December 31st, people gathered in New York City's Times Square to celebrate the new year, looking forward to new opportunities and adventures.